KLCC, one of the world's largest real estate developments, is designed to be a place for people to work, live, and enjoy the finer things in life, from eating and shopping to arts and cultural pursuits. The 100-acre city within a city is home to the world-renowned Petronas Twin Towers, office towers, hotels, a 50-acre park, and KLCC Surya, the country's premier mall. All utilities, amenities and services were integratedly designed to serve and support the entire development. Most of the services were placed underground and serving respective facilities from below grade level. This includes the water tank, located at KLCC Northwest Development Basement Car Park area. The water tank caters to Surya Mall, the major end user, the KLCC Common Estate, KLCC Common Facilities, and KLCC Parking Management. The tank is built of reinforced concrete with 2 adjoining compartments. It measures 16 meters both in width and length and stretches from level P1 to P4, which is about 10 meters deep. The total capacity of the water tank is approximately 2,300 cubic meters, and the daily demand is approximately 1,500 cubic meters for domestic usage. In this same water tank, approximately 384 cubic meters of water is always on standby for firefighting requirements. The water tank was still leaking from the cracks found on the walls from level P1 to P4 despite having treated them externally. It was also found that the fire gate valves for both compartments cannot be closed perfectly to control the flow of water, thus adversely affecting the plumbing system. The problems had to be addressed and resolved in order to prolong the serviceability and durability of the water tank and to minimize the negative impact on Surya KLCC. To address the issue, the client KLCC Urus Harta Sendirian Berhad has appointed KLCC Project Services Sendirian Berhad as project manager, while Arup Jururunding Sendirian Berhad was engaged as the principal consultant to carry out an audit assessment to identify the problems and to provide a long-term solution. Structural Repairs Malaysia Sendirian Berhad was appointed to carry out the rectification works according to the design solution provided by Arup Jururunding Sendirian Berhad.
Our main concern is that immediate action was needed. Otherwise, further progressive deterioration may affect the structural integrity of the water tank. However, the real challenge for the team was to ensure that the water supply to Surya KLCC is not disrupted, nor the business operations being interrupted at any time during the rectification works. We also have to ensure that the firefighting system is not affected at all during the works.
A condition survey and defects mapping was carried out by deploying a remotely operated vehicle to inspect the condition inside the water tank. It was found that the tank was compartmentalized without connectivity, and the HDPE waterproofing lining was damaged, causing seepage through the wall cracks.
There are 3 major concerns in working out the rectification strategy and proposal for the water tank. First, there shall not be any disruption of water supply to Surya KLCC Mall for the domestic water usage. In other words, water supply must be made available at all times throughout the rectification period. Second, the condition and the severity of the problems are unknown. Therefore, detailed assessment and investigation has to be conducted to identify the root cause of the problem. Some of the investigation approaches to be conducted firstly, field testing works by using NDT or non-destructive tests. This is to determine the quality and strength of the existing structure. Secondly would be thermographic scanning. Then the third would be remotely operated vehicle or ROV, which is equivalent to underwater drone. Third, other than the problem with the water leakages through the cracks on the walls, The fire gate valves for both water compartments are found to be faulty and it can't be fully closed. Therefore, the water can flow both ways between both compartments. That's why the outlet pipe inside the water tank has to be blanked off by deploying a professional diver just to carry out this type of work. Then only each water tank compartment can be drained off and emptied for the rectification and new waterproofing works, whereby for each stage of rectification works, there is always one water tank compartment in operation without disrupting the water supply to Suria KLCC Mall.
After the findings from the audit assessment, the rectification strategy was as follows. Paramount importance was placed on safety throughout the project. An effective safety management system was worked into the plan of action. Potential hazards were identified, risk assessment was conducted, and control measures were charted out. Every single task performed was in strict compliance with the occupational safety and health rules and regulations. As such, there were no accidents at all. To ensure that the water supply remains uninterrupted throughout the project, the contingency plan was to connect a water supply pipeline directly from KLCC Tower 1 to the CF water tank to address any emergency or water supply disruption. Besides that, the tank rectification work was carried out one compartment at a time, with the other compartment always in operation. Before each compartment could be drained, the internal outlet pipe had to be blanked off to stop the water flow due to the faulty valve. And this task could only be carried out by a competent diving team. To prepare for the installation of the blank-off plates, the diving team began by setting up the diving equipment and control station to ensure that everything was in order prior to diving activity. A toolbox briefing was conducted to highlight the safety, objective, roles and responsibility of each and everyone. The blank-off activity commenced after business hours. The coordination and involvement of the KLCC safety and emergency response teams throughout the task was to minimize the operation risk of Suria KLCC, particularly the disruption of the firefighting system. The strainer was dismantled, followed by the installation of the blank-off plate. The diving activity was guided and monitored tightly to ensure the safety of the diver and that the task was carried out correctly as intended. Replacing the fire gate valve proved to be the biggest challenge in this project. The main concern was how to safely dismantle the old fire gate valve that weighs 180 kilograms within the tight working space of the plant room and to safely install a new valve without disrupting the firefighting system. The diving team was always on standby to dismantle the blank-off plate to ensure that water supply was available for the firefighting system in the event of a fire. Therefore, it was imperative that all the necessary precautions were taken to ensure the safety of all team members and equipment within the plant room. This task was carried out after the relevant water tank had been emptied. A stacker was used to temporarily support, lift and handle the fire gate valve safely and with less human effort. All activities were carried out with proper planning and coordination to prevent any mistake or mishap. The task was accomplished within 2 hours without accident. This water tank is considered as a confined space, as the access is only via a limited single entrance manhole. Working within a confined space can be dangerous, as the risks from noxious gases, reduced oxygen level or asphyxiation due to other causes are real. Therefore, only workers who have been trained and certified by NIOSH are allowed to work in this confined space. After the water tank was emptied, an atmospheric testing and monitoring was conducted by an authorized gas tester to ensure a safe working atmosphere before allowing certified workers to enter the tank. Proper ventilation system was provided to eliminate any hazardous atmosphere and to prevent any respiratory or health problems for the workers. The atmospheric condition was continuously monitored throughout the period of activity inside the tank.
One of the hazards is an oxygen deficient atmosphere, where the oxygen level is lower than 19.5%, which may cause this asphyxiation. On the other hand, if the oxygen level is higher or in excess of 23.5% and in the presence of combustible material, it may result in an increased risk of fire or explosion. Another hazard is a toxic atmosphere. Noxious fumes such as chlorine, carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, and nitrogen dioxide may exist in the tank and may cause various acute effects such as impairment of judgment, unconsciousness, and death. That's why working in a confined space is dangerous. All hazards must be identified and mitigated with a proper ventilation system, continuous atmospheric testing and monitoring to ensure the safe working environment and to minimize the risk of injury and fatality.
It was found that the HDPE waterproofing lining was damaged and had failed. In view of the 1 meter by 1 meter small manhole access, only a tubular working platform system was suitable, which was erected inside the water tank. The existing HDPE lining was removed thoroughly. Besides the HDPE lining, there was another layer of cementitious waterproofing coating on the concrete substrate. It was thoroughly removed using a mechanical grinder with an attached vacuum for dust control. The concrete substrate was cleaned and roughened by hydroblasting at a high pressure of 10,000 psi. Rectification of defective and unsound concrete was done with polymer-modified repair mortar. An epoxy scratch coat was applied to resurface and to cover all the pinholes. To achieve a concrete surface profile CSP4, broadcasting quartz sand for surface roughening was used. A layer of epoxy primer was applied to receive new waterproofing coating system. A spray-on pure polyurea coating system was applied. This pure polyurea coating system is elastomeric, which is crack bridging, tough and durable. It is also more superior, of a higher quality than HDPE lining, fast application, seamless and sets fast within 30 seconds. The cracks on the external walls were injected with polyurethane grout. The quality management system was implemented to measure and assure that the quality of work was achieved in accordance with the specifications. All the QA and QC for the moisture content of concrete surface profile, thickness of waterproofing coating, bond strength, water tightness of water tank, and quality of water were conducted and complied with. The project was completed successfully 1 month ahead of schedule.
Firstly, I'm glad that this project has been completed without any disruptions to our clients, mainly Suria KLCC. This project was the first that has been successfully completed since the storage tank was in operation for more than 25 years. It will be a good lesson learned and for future reference if KLCC Urusarta encounter the same problem with water storage tank.
With good teamwork, the project was accomplished within 7 months, clocking 9,450 man-hours with 0 accident and no lost time injury. Unseen and unknown to the public and tenants, the concern of the structural failure of the RC water tank was eliminated, while the ability to maintain the plumbing system effectively was reinstated. And Suria KLCC continues to operate as usual without a glitch.